What's up, Lucky Gamers? It's Lucky Lux. Alright, so today we're going to be doing something fun. This is not related to the patches or anything like that. This is more of a community thing. So, a while back, a couple weeks now, back in March, we came up with the idea. Obi-Wan came up with this. He was like, yo, it'd be really cool if we could have a part where we could like make up character kits, make up like some fan-made kits, right? We called it theory crafting at first. Then I changed it to fan-made kits because some people were like, yo, are these characters and like that? And it's like, no, 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 no. These are all fan-made characters. So this channel has been blowing up in my Discord, and there has been a lot more of you than I would think actually making these fan-made kits. Even Gordon from Pridwin was cooking on here. So I'm going to do a series of videos where we look at some of the kits, and I literally have to do a series of videos because there are so many. There are so many fan-made kits that this is going to be a multiple video thing. And if you guys want to make more, it's going to be in my Discord, hashtag R99 fan-made kits. And you can start cooking in there. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the first one. It's actually done by Obi-Wan. All right, so Obi-Wan Kenobi, he created this one. He said this is his crack at a mental damage support. Now, he put numbers up, and guys, like, I will admit, for some of these, the numbers are absolutely wild, but I mean, at the point of where we're going with the characters in R99, it's not too far from, like, the numbers we've been seeing, right? So, the skills on this character, he wanted to do a mass debuff. All enemies suffer a mental defense minus 10, 15, 20%. So at level 1, 2, and 3. And then damage taken 20, 25, and 30 for 2 to 2. Oh, and if it's a level 1 skill, it does 2 rounds. And then if it gets up to a level 3 skill, it goes up to 3 rounds. It's really interesting. It goes up to 3 rounds if you can get the level 3. And I mean, mental defense, 20%, damage taken 30. That's very close to Shemaine. I think we were comparing it to like the characters that are out now, right? And then a skill 2 is a single target buff, purifies 3 to 5, 7, stats down negative statuses or control statuses, very similar to 6 from the target. Priority is over control, negative stats down. Oh, okay. He's putting a priority into it because you don't want it to take away like the burn and the poison and like something else, but you're still stunned. That makes sense. Makes sense. Extend stats up in positive status durations by 2 to 3 turns or by 1, 2, 3 stacks, because not all, like, okay, so add more stacks to whatever you have stacked, kind of like what is it? The strength buff that we're starting to get. You have is it Rally a power buff, whatever that is Soul Day and Desert Flannel give, but then also like rousing morale and stuff like that. But being able to extend buffs, mental defense and extend buffs, that's actually like, you know what's crazy? That is actually something that has come out on Vila. This was made back in March 14th, but like, that part right there didn't exist in the game, but that is actually something that's happening. Not to this extent, but Vila does do this in a way. Activates once per target per round. If the target was mental, grant target Moxie +1. Again, this is does not apply to self unless cast at 3-star or there are no other allies. Afterwards, if there are no stats down, negative stats, or control statuses on the target, Moxie +1 to self. This card does not generate Moxie from moving or merging. So it's like an extra card. It's like, it's crazy that like I'm not saying it's directly from Vila, but it's crazy that like a little bit of Vila is in that buff move right there. Like just a little bit of her kit is in that, right? Like it's kind of crazy. Like, and this was made weeks before Vila was even announced. Let's see, ultimate mass buff grants precision for all allies, grants mental characters precision 2 instead. Last 2 rounds. If at least 1 stack of rebound is available, consume 1 stack and grant incantation amp to the target for 1 round and to all mental characters for 1 round. After that, attacks randomly 6 times, dealing 50 mental damage plus attack times 30% of attack. Genesis damage prioritizes enemies that have not been attacked than the target. Okay, so a multi-hit attack. That one doesn't sound too bad. What's the rebound? No, the precision. Precision penetration rate plus 30%. Genesis damage plus 30. Precision 2, penetration rate plus 60, Genesis damage plus 60%. Now, I will say this penetration rate is a little crazy in that Genesis damage because this is a P0 character, right? Like that's a lot of Genesis damage. Um, and you're giving that to all characters. So making characters do Genesis damage. Now, making characters do Genesis damage is pretty interesting because then it allows them to be stronger in content that needs Genesis damage when there is damage reduction, right? Like having a Genesis damage, like kind of like how in HSR Ruin May puts all that penetration up and the shields where you just eat through shields. I don't completely understand Ruin May, but like I know Ruin May allows you to do a lot more damage to like the shields and has a high penetration rate, but see, incantation amp. All incantations gain +1 star when cast. If no incantations were cast, a 1 star to a random incantation when the round ends. Cannot exceed a 1-turn duration. Will override and is overridden by Empower Incantation and Power Incantation 2. And if this happens, the pod assess as overridden will not activate. Now, I think Obi-Wan knows. I think at this point, Obi-Wan was like, I just want a mental character. This is a cracked mental character here. This is a character that does everything. I think Obi knows this because people were talking to him about the values and stuff like that. But this is a cracked character right here. This is a character that does it all. Insight 1, Unyielding Encore. Insight 1, when a debuff is used by anyone on the battlefield, grant 2 stacks of rebound. Max 4 stacks. When skill 1 is used, grants an additional stack of rebound. Rebound. Crit rate plus 100%. God dang. When an ally when any ally attacks, when any other ally attacks, performs an attack, a follow-up to, dealing 40, 50, 60 mental damage plus attack with Genesis damage on the same target. This will be regarded as a follow-up once per round. -1 stack after trigger. Cannot be dispelled. My God. Character has a follow-up and has crit rate. Now, the thing is that the character only has damage on the ult, right? So the crit rate is really only going to matter for the follow-up. But like it being used by a debuff, hitting stacks for a debuff is crazy to get this follow-up. The stats got to be low, but still a cool concept. Insight 2, crit rate plus 10%, of course. Insight 3, this is obviously a star character. Like, this is obviously a star character. Insight 3, when triggering rebound, grant all allies 1 stack of flourish. Grant mental characters an additional stack of flourish and 1 stack of siphoned impact. Flourish, when the round begins, grant a shield equal to HP. Max HP plus 5% for 3 turns, 1 stack after trigger. And has shields. Siphon impact, damage dealt plus 10% and leech rate plus 40%. Deals additional Genesis damage equal to HP restored up to 2 stacks after trigger. I tried to make it balanced, but you guys can tell me what you think. Obi, this is cracked AF. This is a cracked character. I love how he says at the end, I tried to make it balanced. We're looking at a character. We're looking at a character who does defense shred, increases damage taken, purifies, gives moxie, also gives penetration rate, does damage on the ult, could give empower incantation basically. Does a follow-up, high crit rate, and can grant shields passively or give extra damage dealt also in leech rate. it's a little much. I feel like if you would have cut some of this stuff in half, like if you could have taken some of the kit and put it on another character, right? Great design though. I love the commitment to making your own buffs, to making the kit work with itself, because that takes a lot of thought, guys. It's like it's not really easy to have everything go together, especially like until you like type it out and everything, and you're thinking about numbers, having them go up, right? Like you have to take a template from a character and like create your own stuff. So guys, like don't like laugh at all these arts, right? Like of course we could just be like, dang bro, this character's cracked. But like don't just be like, yo, this looks like shit. Like no, like it takes a lot of like, you know, work to like have everything like work together. But I will say Obi-Wan Kenobi, uh this one's a little crazy. Um but hey, I like it. Trying to make a broken mental support because until Vila, we were in desperate needs for one, honestly. All right, and so I scrolled a little down, and he actually has portraits for the character. This is where the character gets even more broken. I was thinking I was going to move on to the next one, but he has portraits. So, uh, we're looking at it. Let's see, what did he get? So P1, Insight 1, when a buff is used by anyone on the battlefield, grant 1 stack of rebound, max 5 stacks. Level 2, Ultimate, grant Siphon and Flourish to all mental characters, or enjoys crit rate plus 100%. Crit rate is converted into crit damage. Oh, okay, he was saying he couldn't decide which one he likes more. Level 3, additionally triggers rebound, dealing 40% mental damage plus 25% on the same target, -1. Okay, so a power up to the rebound. Level 4, it does higher Genesis damage. And then level 5, Portrait 5, rebound does 60% mental damage with a little bit more Genesis damage with max 6 stacks, or he's saying ultimate, rebound is not consumed when cast. The main things were reworking Insight 1, so you only gain rebound from a buff at P1, nerfing the ultimate from 3 turns to 2, okay, nerfing precision 1 and 2, and leaving the values the same at all portraits. Not allowing skill 2 to generate Moxie from moving or merging. I also tied Incantation Amp to the -1 rebound stack, so if you cast the ultimate without rebound, you don't get Incantation Amp except at P5. Okay, that makes sense. So even balance his character, because I think a lot of people here were discussing it, right? And they're talking about it. This is a prediction for Marcus's kit new to the section. Yeah. See, this is why I had to change it, because people are like, yo, these new characters or something like that. So I had to change it. But I do like it, honestly. This is pretty cool. So this would be obviously a star character. With the amount of crit in this would be wild. Crit character with rebound. But I do like the idea of it. I do like getting another follow-up character, being able to take advantage of the enemies that use debuffs, right? Like kind of like a counter to, if we go back up, kind of like a counter to enemies using debuffs, because it's when debuffs you can use, or an advantage to using debuffs, right? Like you wouldn't use the character if you didn't have a high amount of debuffs on your team, but like, you know, if you're going against debuff heavy content or you're using debuff heavy characters, you could do this. So I do like it. But guys, tell me what you think. Let me know down in the comment section. Did Obi-Wan cook with this one, or did he cook too much and did he burn it? Because but if anything, please support the people who are doing these, and to help them encourage to do it more. So this is our mental damage support cooked up in the Discord. Again, if you guys want to do this, please join the Discord and get into fan made kits. And guys, these people are actually literally taking this serious and they enjoy doing this. So the best I can do is showcase it on my channel and show it off. But anyways, guys, I'm Lucky Lux. You guys have a good one. Out.